Hi everyone! Thank you for coming to listen to my presentation. The presentation is called No More Dieting, Nutrition Education for Teens. So I'm going to be talking about dieting culture and health and wellness. And this is particularly aimed at teenagers, specifically those in high school. So you can definitely listen and learn a lot if you're not at that age, just letting you know that it is going to be tailored towards this age group. So, who am I and why am I giving this presentation? So, I'm Janine Mozoomdar. I have a Bachelor's of Science from UC Davis, and it was in nutritional biology. So, I've always known I wanted to go into some kind of healthcare field ever since I was young. And I found that I really like the field of nutrition when I was in high school. I love learning about food because I love it so much. And I love knowing how nutrients interact with our body and our health. Currently, I am a dietetic intern at Cal Poly SLO. So what that means is I want to become a dietitian, and to become a dietitian, you have to do this year-long internship. It's very similar to like a residency for a doctor or like a student nurse. So I spend a year going around learning a bunch, being a student. And right now I'm interning at Not Your Average Nutritionist with Libby Parker. You're on her YouTube channel right now, and that's why I'm presenting this. So a few things about me. I love food. I loved it enough to major in nutrition. So I love to try new foods, different restaurants. I love to cook. If you have any suggestions or any foods you think I should try, definitely let me know. I love nature, and I'm a huge animal lover. I want to be a vet for the longest time, and my goal in life is to have like 6 pets. And something else I like to do is I like to read comics in my free time. So my objectives today is 1, I want to talk about why you don't need to go on a diet, or why you shouldn't. You should go off the one you're on now and why they're not needed. We're going to talk about what healthy eating habits look like and a healthy relationship with food looks like. And then I want you to really understand that all foods fit in a healthy lifestyle. So I'm going to ask you a question. You can answer this to yourself. You can write it down. You can comment it. Whatever you'd like. So have you ever been on a diet before? And no shame if you said yes. It's very, very common. So about 50% of teens have reported being unhappy with their weight. I would definitely say the number probably should be higher. And then 3 out of 5 teenage biological girls have attempted weight loss, and 1 out of 5 teenage biological boys have attempted weight loss. So that's a lot of people trying to lose weight. And usually the way they're losing weight is through dieting. So what is dieting? I would define it as basically restricting your food intake for the sole purpose of losing weight. And it could also include increasing your exercise for the sole purpose of losing weight. But typically it's the food portion and a little bit of exercise. And, the type of diet and what you do, it depends on what kind of diet you're following. So it may include skipping meals. Maybe you don't eat lunch. Could be fasting, so you don't eat for a long time or a specific amount of time. It could be restricting the amount of calories you eat. It could also be restricting the type of food you eat. So maybe you decide that you're not going to eat anything that you deem as unhealthy. So maybe you would say no fast food. No. There's also fad dieting. So that could include something like keto or cutting out carbs. Or there are a lot of other fad diets out there. So why do so many people diet? We already talked about it before. People want to lose weight, but why do people want to lose weight? So the reason why people want to lose weight so bad is because there's a very big emphasis on weight loss and why you should lose weight. So you've definitely seen this in school. If you've been in a health class, they might have talked about weight loss. They might have talked about BMIs. They might have talked about why it's so unhealthy to be overweight, and they might have scared you. They might have gotten your weight and told you you're overweight or taken your measurements. There's also a huge weight bias towards those who are overweight. So people who are overweight tend to have a lot of bias toward them, meaning that people treat them differently or make assumptions on them based on their weight. They might assume things about their working nature or their intelligence, and letting you know that's definitely not true. though sometimes it's unconscious. But because of this and this weight bias, many people are motivated to lose weight. We don't want people to think badly of us, right? Another big part of it is there is the overemphasis on the importance of being thin. Many people think if you're just thin, you'll be healthy, you'll be successful, you'll be beautiful. And I want to let you know that you can be all those things without being thin. You can be healthy, you can be successful, and you can be beautiful at any shape, size, weight that you are right now. Also, there's a huge cultural pressure for people to lose weight. So what I mean is that the culture we live in, so this is the United States, there's a lot of emphasis on losing weight and looking that makes you look good. So you might go to your grandma's house and she might comment on your weight if you put on weight, or say that, oh, when I was your age, I was this small, or your parents might comment on you eating a lot and say, like, if you eat too much, you're gonna get fat. So there's definitely a lot of pressure to lose weight, and that's why people turn to dieting. And I'm going to touch on it a little bit too, but there's also a lot of unrealistic beauty standards in media. So social media and the things we watch, like television. But mainly I'm going to be talking about social media. So social media creates unrealistic body standards and beauty standards for us. So looking at images of these celebrities, which many people idolize or you might idolize, and these influencers, they might be fitness influencers or health gurus, it can really affect how you feel about your body. You're going to compare yourself to them. And this isn't human nature to compare ourselves to people. You might be walking down the street and compare your outfit to the girl next to you or the guy next to you, and that's okay. That's something that happens. But social media takes this and makes it so easy. It's so easy to jump on your phone. I could do it right now and jump on Insta or jump on TikTok and compare myself to other people, and you can doom scroll all day, and it's very hard to get away from it. It's very difficult to disconnect from this, so I would recommend thinking that you have to remember that these people choose how they present themselves. If you see someone and you think they have the most perfect body, and if I just lose some more weight, I'll look that way, that might not necessarily be true. So if they take pictures of themselves, they're going to use the most flattering angles, they're going to have good lighting, they're going to maybe know how to pose their body, and they have editing software, they can wear specific clothes. Like, for example, if they look like they have no stomach rolls, and you look down and you're like, I have stomach rolls, I'm like, you know that no matter what weight you are, you're always going to have those. If you sit down, your skin's going to fold. But they know how to take pictures of themselves where it doesn't show, so you're going to think they don't have any, but that's definitely not true. So just remember, they're putting their best selves out there. They want to look good. You don't want to put bad pictures of yourself out there, right? So they're putting things that are good out there, and you're only going to see the perfect things. So try to remember that. And then I want you to remember that you can always unfollow unapologetically if you are being triggered, or you are seeing this person's content and is making you feel really bad about yourself. It's okay to unfollow. I think your mental health is way more important than someone's subscriber count, right? Or follower count. And just trying to remember your self-love. And you should be proud of yourself, where you are, no matter what your weight is, no matter what you look like. And you should have some body positivity. You should love yourself. Also, in social media, we often see sources of nutritional advice that are unreliable, unhealthy, and harmful. So you need to be really careful who you take nutritional advice from. Think about, who is this person and why are they giving me advice? Do they have credentials? Are they in the health field? Are they a dietitian, or are they just some random person? And then think about, is their advice based on science? Are they just saying something, or is there research to back it up? Lastly, try to think about whether they're trying to sell you something. Sometimes people will claim a certain diet or supplement is good for you just because they want to make money off it, or they've been paid to advertise. So if you see someone advertising it, and you can check their bio, and you probably might find that they're trying to sell it to you, and they're trying to make money off your desire to be healthy or lose weight. So we talked a bit about why people go on diets, but why shouldn't you go on a diet? So one, especially in your teenage years, you are burning through energy like crazy because you're growing a lot. So you need nourishment to grow. All this height and growing does not come out of nowhere. You can't just synthesize sunlight like a plant. You have to eat, so you need to be nourished to grow. You also have to remember that there are physical and mental consequences with dieting. Physically, you could feel really tired, you're going to feel sluggish, you're going to lose strength, you might lose muscle mass. There's a lot more, but also mentally, you could be unfocused, you could feel bad in general, you could have headaches or brain fog. It's hard to concentrate when you're hungry, right? And I'd like to let you know that dieting actually doesn't really work. In the short term, if you diet, you might lose some weight. And that's because you're not eating a lot. So you're going to lose weight. But it's usually ineffective at sustaining weight loss. So once you stop the diet, you're going to put it back on. So this rapid cycle of losing weight fast and putting on weight fast is really, really unhealthy for your body. It puts a lot of stress on your body. It's not meant to be doing this. It's meant to gradually change its weight. And it can really have long-lasting effects on your health and also your metabolism. And lastly, it really affects your relationship with food. If you're putting rules on your eating or saying, this food's bad and this food's good, then it makes eating not fun anymore. And it's supposed to be fun and enjoyable instead of you feeling guilty or ashamed for eating something. So this is from Libby Parker. She's my mentor. She's the one who's running this Not Your Average Nutritionist, her business and her YouTube channel. So definitely check out all her videos and stuff. They have great advice. But this is the cycle of disordered eating. You don't have to have disordered eating to follow this. But basically, I'm going to explain it to you in an example. So the reason why dieting can be so mentally hard on people and why I really don't want you to do it, it's a lot with this cycle. So first, we're going to see that you're going to be down here. So you're dieting. Let's say your diet is you're not eating carbs. So you're not eating carbs. And you're doing well. And then eventually, because your body needs carbs and because let's say you really like to eat pasta, you're going to feel hungry and you're going to feel deprived. So you're really thinking, I really want to eat carbs. I really want to eat pasta, but I can't. But eventually, you're going to be so deprived or so hungry, you're eventually going to do it. You're going to do the bad thing. You're going to break your diet, and you're going to eat that pasta. And after you do it, you're going to feel so bad about yourself. You're going to be really shameful. You might feel guilty. You might hate yourself. All those feeling things. And then you're going to say, okay, I'm going to pick myself up from this, and I'm going to do it again tomorrow. And I'm going to do better. I'm not going to eat carbs anymore. And then you're going to go back to doing good. And then, guess what? It's going to continue over and over and over and over again. So the way to break this is breaking this bottom portion. So if you're not dieting, if you're not restricting your carbohydrate intake, you're not going to get deprived or hungry. And then you're not going to do this, and you're not going to do this, and it's all going to disappear. And as you can tell, this cycle is very mentally taxing. So we definitely don't want you to be doing this for yourself. And it's time consuming as well. Alright, so we're going to talk about weight now. So weight is the reason why a lot of people diet. So firstly, I want to tell you that, especially if you're a teenager, for everyone under 21, the BMI is currently not accurate for you. BMI is for adults. If you're under the age of 20, they're going to use a growth chart on you. I also want you to know that a BMI is very outdated. It was done a while ago. It was done on adult Caucasian men. So it definitely does not apply to people of different races or a different sex. And even if you are a Caucasian guy, your build might be different. You might have a bigger or smaller build depending on your genetics. So BMI is definitely not accurate. And I just want you to keep that in mind and take it with a grain of salt. We've also kind of touched on this vaguely, but weight is not an indicator of health. It's not an indicator of your beauty or your self-worth. And that might take some time to understand and really embrace. I myself, I'm still working on this. It's just so ingrained into us by culture, but just please remember this. And if you want to lose weight, that's totally fine. If it's appropriate, if you're at a weight where it's healthy for you to lose weight and you want to, you definitely can. And you can achieve this without being on a diet. So I just want you to remember, for this portion, that dieting is not healthy. It's stressful on your body. It hurts your mental health. It can have physical consequences. And it's not tasty. We don't like diet food. So please be kind to your body and don't diet. So instead of weight loss, what we should strive for is healthy eating habits and a good relationship with food. This is the goal, and this is what we should all strive for. And if we strive for these and do them right, then weight loss should follow. So instead of dieting, I want you to try intuitive eating. So intuitive eating is listening to your body's hunger and fullness signals and listening to what your body wants. So listening to your cravings. So the whole thing behind this, the reason why this is a thing is because your body knows what's best for you, so your body will tell you what it needs, and you just need to listen to it. And if eating intuitively, you can eventually reach a weight that your body wants, so weight loss or weight maintenance is definitely possible using intuitive eating. Really quickly, I'm going to go over the principles of intuitive eating. If you want this in more detail, links down below. There's also a great book you can read. I'll put that down in the link too. But I'm just going to go over it really quickly. So there's 10 of them. The first one is rejecting a diet mentality. It's what I was saying before. So we don't want to diet. We don't want to strive just for weight loss sake. We want to strive to be healthy, to eat a balanced diet with a bunch of different foods, and we want to enjoy food. So let's reject that diet mentality. Next is honoring your hunger. So if you're hungry, your stomach might growl, you might get a headache, or you might be feeling really tired. If you're hungry, eat something. Your body needs that energy, so you need to eat. 3 is making peace with food. So I was already kind of talking about it, but no food is good or evil. Everything is good in moderation, so you have to make peace with your food. Allow yourself unconditional acceptance and permission to eat this food. If you want to eat this cookie, go ahead. You should be at peace with your food options and choices. Challenging the food police, that's very similar to making peace with food, but basically, when you hear that voice in your head saying, like, you can't eat this is bad for you, I want you to ignore that and understand that even if you eat this cookie, your body's still going to know what to do with that, still able to break it down, you're still going to get nourishment from that. 5 is respecting your fullness, so kind of the opposite of honoring your hunger. If you're full, stop eating. So when you eat, maybe try to stop and think about, how hungry am I? How full am I? And if you're full, you can put the fork down and stop eating. You can always save leftovers for later. Next is discovering satisfaction. So food is satisfying when you eat a variety of foods and you eat enough and you're just the right amount of full and you're not hungry. That's satisfying. And food is tasty. When you eat something great, you feel satisfied afterwards. Next is honoring your feelings without using food. So a lot of us emotionally eat. It's if you're sad or you're happy or you're stressed, you're definitely going to eat. And that's okay. That's normal. However, we don't want that to be your only coping mechanism. So you should learn how to deal with your feelings with something besides food. Don't make food the first thing you turn to every single time you're stressed about something. Next is respecting your body. Intuitive eating is not just about what you eat. It's also about your body and your movement. So your body does a lot of amazing things to keep you alive. You don't have to think about blinking or breathing or making your heart beat. Your body does that all for you. So you should respect your body by treating it right and making healthy choices, feeding it adequately, giving it all the nutrients and vitamins and minerals and everything that it needs, drinking enough water, taking rest when you need it, things that will take care of your body, which in turn will help take care of you. Next is joyful movement. So that's moving in a way that makes you happy. So exercise is not a punishment. It's not a way to make up for if you ate too much. Movement is something that you enjoy and you like and is good for you. So you should move because you like it, not just because you feel like it. And last is gentle nutrition. So this is the understanding that nutrition and what you eat will never be perfect. There's no perfect diet. So you should be kind to yourself and let you eat the things you want to do. Make the right choices for yourself and what you are like, what your body's like, what you're craving. And just enjoy food. Another part of intuitive eating and eating healthy eating habits is eating regularly. So every day I want you to eat 3 meals and some snacks. And then we also want you to eat frequently. So eat every 3 to 5 hours during the daytime, so while you're awake. And the reason why you should eat regularly is, 1, this is going to give you energy and prevent you from being hangry. We all know what it's like when you haven't eaten enough, you feel really irritated or you feel really tired, and it's really a bad feeling. We hate to feel that way. It also helps you with your focus and concentration. If you're at school and you haven't eaten, you're not going to be able to listen, and you're not going to be able to learn, or you're not going to be able to concentrate on what your friend's telling you. So it's really important to keep eating so you can have that concentration and that focus. And then lastly, eating regularly prevents overeating. So if you've ever skipped a meal, or let's say you skip lunch at school, when it's time for dinner, you are so hungry. You're so hungry, in fact, that you might overeat just because you're hungry. You want to fill that void, and you keep eating. You don't think about how full you are. So by eating regularly, you're going to avoid this, because feeling hungry feels terrible, but feeling full is also really, really painful sometimes, and we don't want you to do that. And as I said before, I really can't say enough. Eat enough. And thus includes eating plenty of foods, eating your 3 meals a day and your snacks, and eating a variety of different types of food. So I'm going to ask you, what do you think healthy meals look like? I'm going to guess that many of you are going to say something like this. So we have like some fruit smoothies, like a salad. This is a clip picture of an acai bowl, maybe like a quinoa and some fruit. They all can be tasty, but this is definitely kind of more diet food. What if I told you that all foods can be part of a healthy diet? So all food groups are necessary for a healthy diet, and all foods fit. You can have french fries, you can have a cupcake, you can have pancakes, and you can still have a healthy diet. And I just want to clarify right now that when I say diet, I'm talking about the things you eat regularly. If I ask you about the diet of your dog, you're going to say he eats kibble and he eats meat. I'm not asking is he dieting, is he trying to lose weight. So just remember that. Diet is the things that you eat. So I'm going to be talking about the different food groups. So we have carbohydrates, protein, fat, water, and calcium. And you can comment down below what are some of your favorite foods in these categories. I love to hear it. I love to talk about food. So definitely, if you want to tell me what your favorite food is and describe it to me, that'd be great. So first are carbohydrates, and these are for energy. They provide your body with the energy called ATP. So all of you probably know the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. And that all links together. So your body takes these carbohydrates, the mitochondria helps break it down and turns it into ATP, and ATP is energy. Therefore, mitochondria is the powerhouse of your cell because it gives you this energy to keep going. And this ATP is stored in your body as glycogen in your liver and your muscles. So whenever you need a little bit of energy boost, it's going to break this down and use it. And I just want to let you know that your body needs energy no matter what you're doing. Even if you're just sitting down and staring at the ceiling and blinking, you still need energy for your brain to work and for your body to work. So you always should be eating carbohydrates for energy, even if you feel like you're not being energetic. Examples of carbohydrates would be grains and starches, so pastas, rice, bread, potatoes. Fruits and vegetables are also a type of carbohydrate, and then sugar is a simple form of carbohydrates. So fruits and vegetables are a type of carbohydrate, but they're specifically important. I know a lot of us have been told to eat your fruits and vegetables, but we're not really told why. So the reason why is, one, they contain a lot of vitamins and minerals, and vitamins and minerals are very important for a whole lot of body processes. They help your body keep running, they help make your skin look nice, they help with your hair, they help repair your muscles, they help you grow, they help you see. There's so many things that they help you with, and you need these vitamins and minerals for you to keep going and for you to be healthy. It also provides fiber, and fiber is a type of carbohydrate that you can't digest, but it helps you not be constipated, and we don't want you to be constipated. Lastly, they have phytochemicals, so these are a substance in them that make them have their beautiful colors. That's why we have fruits and vegetables that are the color of the rainbow. And these phytochemicals have a lot of benefits in humans. They can help your immune system, they can help prevent cancer, they can help with your skin. There's a whole lot of things they do. It's super great for you to eat fruits and vegetables, so just remember to have a colorful plate. Next is protein. So protein is for strength. It's needed to build muscles and tissues, repair any injuries, and it's also needed for body processes, enzymatic processes. So your body is going to take this protein that you eat, it's going to break it down, and it's going to use it to build you up. And this is found in animal sources such as meat, fish, and eggs. It also can be found in plant sources such as legumes, beans, nuts, and seeds. And specifically after physical activity, you should make sure to eat some protein, because if you're running around or playing basketball or doing what these people are doing here and they're working out pretty hard, your muscle's gonna have some like rips and tears in it, and your body needs protein to help rebuild that and restore you. So make sure to have a protein-filled snack. Maybe after doing this, have some boiled eggs. Next is fat. I know fat gets a bad rep, but fat in your body first is needed because it pads your bodies and organs. If you didn't have a lot of fat between your organs, if you hit something, you'd hit your organs, and that isn't good. The fat in your body also helps regulate body processes and hormones, and you need to eat fat as well because it helps you absorb certain vitamins that you can't digest without it. If you don't eat fat, you're not going to be able to break down these vitamins. So examples of fat include meats, especially red meats, so like beef or lamb, fish, something like a salmon has a lot of fat in it, oils, nuts, seeds, avocado, and fried food, like these delicious looking french fries over here. Next is water, so you want to stay hydrated. I know you've heard this a lot. I want you to drink at least 9 cups a day, more if you're working out. And this is needed to keep your body running. You are 70% water after all. It needs you to keep your temperature down. It helps you get rid of toxins in your body. It helps detox you. It helps with your digestion. It helps everything run smoothly. So you just need to stay hydrated. And make sure you drink enough water. Next is calcium. So you probably already heard this too. So you need calcium for strong bones. This helps build and maintain your bones. And you need to build up these calcium stores now when you're younger. So basically, you start losing calcium stores, and when you get older, the amount you lose it at is pretty equal to the amount you consume and put in. So you need to put that cash in the bank right now. So eat a lot of calcium so you have a lot of stores and your bones are nice and strong. So examples of calcium equal dairy products, so milk, cheese, and yogurt, fortified cereals and fruit juices, and fortification is basically they add in calcium to make a food more dense, and it usually will advertise it on the box. And then for us lactose intolerant people, that would be something like a milk substitute, like a soy milk. Alright, so now that we talked about all the different food groups, we're going to talk about how much of each food should you eat. And a really good tool for that is actually my plate. Oops. So if you notice that, first of all, there's no size of the plate. It should be the amount of food you eat depends on you and how hungry you are, how full you are, what you're feeling that day. So it could be a tiny plate, and sometimes it could be a bigger plate. It really just depends. It's going to change from meal to meal. So ideally, we want you to be getting some grains. So about like 30% of your plate would be grains, another 30% would be vegetables. This portion would be protein, a little bit of fruit. It's about equal amounts of these. And then we want you to have some dairy as well. And then you should also have fat with your meals. Fat is not included in my plate because fat is usually included in the other categories. So the fat might be in protein. You might be eating beef with a lot of fat in it. Or maybe your fat is in your avocados. And that would count as a vegetable. Just make sure you're getting that fat in. Don't forget about it. And, you know, it could be a salad dressing too. And I would also suggest adding a fun food to your meals if you are still hungry. So it doesn't have to be for every meal, but think about it. Maybe like a dessert. Or you can have a little like chips afterwards if you're not a sweet person. So what I'd like you to do is think about a meal that would fit into this category, and you can write it down to yourself or you can comment it. I'd love to see your suggestions. For me, an example I can give you is maybe I would do rice for the grains, and protein I would have some kind of curry, and usually I use a fattier chicken, so I would count that as my fat, and curry usually has oil in it, so that's my protein and my fat together. For this portion, I would usually have like steamed broccoli or something. And then my fruits probably wouldn't be on my plate. They probably would be in a separate bowl because I don't want everything to touch. But maybe I would have some strawberries afterwards. Have a cup of soy milk. I'm lactose intolerant, so unfortunately I can't drink milk. And then a fun food, like I said. Maybe a dessert. Maybe I'll have some ice cream afterwards. Alright, now that you're a nutritional expert, I want to hear your suggestions. So, if this is your meal based off my plate, you can always go back and look. What's missing from this meal? What would you suggest they add to the meal? And you can pause the video and comment it, or just write it down and just think about it. So we have a salad and we have like a pasta. So for me, my first thought is, hey, there's no protein here, so I would like to add a piece of chicken. So maybe just like one piece, or maybe two pieces, I don't know, whatever I'm feeling. I'm covering it here, but the pasta looks a little bit plain, so I would add some cheese for that calcium. I would add a salad dressing. It doesn't look like the salad has anything on it. And so this could act as a fat source. I didn't put it on my plate, but definitely you should be drinking water with every meal, remember? I want you to drink at least 9 cups of water a day, so don't forget your water. And then a fun food, so maybe if they're hungry, they'll have a cupcake afterwards for dessert. And if they're not hungry, maybe they won't. Okay, next one. What's missing from this meal? And I just wanted to say that if you get different answers than me, that's totally okay. This is just something I'm thinking about. There's so many infinite ways you could do this. This is just an example. You probably could think of a lot better meals than I could. I'd love to hear your guys' creativity, so definitely just let me know if you have suggestions. So, I would say that one, there's no carbohydrates on it. It was just a burger and vegetables. So we're gonna put that bun back on there. We're going to have cheese for the calcium. We're gonna have some fat with this like mayo or some kind of Thousand Island dressing. I think that we're missing fruit, so add an apple. Always have water. And then I think a fun food would be having French fries, because I love French fries, so we're gonna have it. Great, this is my last one. This is nice coffee, if you can't tell, and this is a protein bar. So let's say this is like a lunch. What would be missing from this meal? Alright, so my first thought is this is pretty light. So, iced coffee, maybe they can add some milk in there, maybe some sugar in there. I'm not really a black coffee drinker, so that would make it much more pleasant. Gonna add some carbohydrates in, so I was thinking maybe some kind of granola would be great, and it has little fruits in it. I still think more fruit would be nice, so I would add a banana. And then maybe I would put these two in the yogurt, so this acts as a fat source, and it also acts as a calcium source. And also this granola, I'm gonna imagine it has nuts in it too, because I think we can see seeds in there, so there's also a little bit of fat in there as well. So, in general, I want you to know, and remember, all food groups are important and necessary. Don't cut any of them out. They are all very, very healthy for you and unnecessary. The only time you should be cutting anything out is if you have an allergy or an intolerance. I keep mentioning lactose intolerance. If you can't drink milk, maybe don't force yourself to drink it. If you have celiac disease and you can't eat gluten, please don't eat bread. So please enjoy your food. One, like we talked about, is fuel for your body. You need food to have energy and to live and function and enjoy yourself and be a person. I also want you to remember that food is a social aspect. When you go out to eat with friends or family, that's usually a time where you're socializing and talking. You're talking over a table like this. After this presentation, I'm going to go see my classmates and we're going to get dinner together and catch up. So it's a huge social element. So you should enjoy your food. And also food is a huge part of our culture and history. When I'm recording this, it's right after Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving's a great example. It's part of our American culture to do Thanksgiving. We're going to have turkey, we're going to have mashed potatoes and stuffing and all that stuff. And you can look forward to it. Eating is fun. Maybe you cook with your family. It's also part of history. It could be your personal history. Maybe your family makes these certain cookies every year, or it could be from your culture. From my culture, every New Year we eat noodles as significance that you're gonna have a long life, and it's part of our history and our tradition. It's something that we do. So yeah, please enjoy your food. It's so important to life and what makes life good. So moving on really briefly, I know we talked about joyful movement, so I'm going to be talking about physical activity. So the recommendation currently for use is 1 hour or more of moderate to vigorous physical activity daily. I want you to take this with a little bit of a grain of salt. If you are injured or if you're not feeling it, don't do it. You should be active, but please don't overdo it. If you're not feeling well, you're okay and you're valid to take a day off. And I want you to let you know that physical activity can be anything. It doesn't have to be you grinding at the gym or taking a run or something really intense if you're not a person like that. Like, personally, I'm not a person who likes to do that. So it could be anything. It will be fun and bring you joy. So you could be jump roping like this kid over here. You could be dancing. You could be walking your dog. Anything that you want and gets you up and moving, because physical activity is good for you in moderation, promotes good health and well-being. It strengthens you, puts you in a good mood, and it could potentially help with weight loss or maintenance if that's something you're looking for. So I'd love for you guys to let me know what type of movement brings you joy. So do you like walking a dog like this couple does here? Do you like, I don't know, taking runs in the morning or in the evening? Just let me know. I'd love to hear it. So lastly, I'll be doing a little bit on transitioning to college. I don't want to assume anything about your lives, whether you're going to college or not, but I just wanted to mention this so you can keep this in mind for those of you who are going to college. Transitioning to college is a really big change. You might be living on your own for the first time, and college is very stressful. You're living on your own. You might be in a different area, maybe even a different city or country. So you're going to meet a lot of new people. You're going to do a lot of things. And it's a very exciting period of your life, but it's also very, very stressful. And I just want to do a little PSA that with certain genetics that you have, plus this very tumultuous transitional period, this can lead to disordered eating. So I want you to be really careful about that and think about this as you go on. So disordered eating is when you obsessively think about food, whether you obsessively exercise. It could be you dieting constantly. And basically it's kind of when food and exercise and those type of things take over your life and get in the way of you functioning and doing your normal activities and socializing. So if you or a loved one are struggling, I would suggest that you please reach out for help. There's nothing wrong reaching out for help. Lots of people struggle with this, and I just want you to remember this, because I'm telling you guys, please don't diet, but sometimes it's not that easy. You can't just stop doing it. So if you're having difficulty with this, please reach out for help. You've already found the Not Your Average Nutritionist YouTube channel, so click on the videos. Libby has great videos with a lot of information for you. You can also read her book, Permission to Eat. It's a great practical guide for those with eating disorders. And if you're not ready for that, even talking to a friend or a family member and just reaching out for help, because you're not alone and you deserve to have help and you deserve to live a good life. So in conclusion, we talked about why you shouldn't diet. We talked about why it's unhealthy. It has a lot of effects on your mental health and your physical health. And then we talked about how instead of focusing on weight loss, you should focus on healthy eating habits and a good relationship on food. And this is what our goal is. And if weight loss or weight maintenance is something we're aiming for, that will happen in conjunction with these good eating habits. And lastly, we talked about enjoying and loving food. Enjoy what you eat and love eating. Food is great. And food brings us all together. Here are my sources. If you want to take a look or you're interested in something I talked about, you can go check out these sources. Unfortunately, the last one is something that was presented to me, and it's not out to the public, but everything else you can totally look up yourself and do your research too. So, thank you so much everyone for listening. I hope that you've learned something from this, and you'll remember at least my no dieting, and you'll continue to go out there and love and enjoy food. So, continue eating well and eat well, guys, okay? Thank you.